Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. I do appreciate you spending some time with me here. Well, this is going to be an interesting show. It's going to tie into, of course, the information with the way the never-ending story was an archetype and the whole left versus right brain. Um, if you want to view that video first and then come back to this one, you can. It's right up here. But I think most people are familiar with the whole red and the blue pill scenario given to Neo in the movie The Matrix. And that's sort of where we're headed with this one, because within this lies some hidden truth. And I want to offer you the same deal here. You can take the blue pill and exit right now, because you can't unhear what I'm about to tell you. But I'm assuming if you're here, you're already a truth seeker, and there's no way you're going to leave and take the blue pill. So I'll continue on. He's told that he can either take the blue or the red pill. The blue pill, he can continue on believing what he wants to believe, and everything else stops. But if he takes the red pill, he's basically going down the rabbit hole. So it doesn't take him long to decide he's going to go for the red. And I want to go to a full screen just to get the full effect of this here. So he decides to take the red pill. He wants to go down the rabbit hole, and he wants to learn the truth. And he's told all he's being offered is truth. So he snacks it down. So let's back up for a minute and look at this here. Keep in mind, the blue pill is really no different than no pill. So there's a choice given here that really the blue pill is continue on doing what you're already doing. You don't really even need to take the pill. But it's important that you're given a choice. Now, a while back, I understood that to maintain free will, whenever something's introduced, you have to introduce an outlet for doubt, or what I perceive to be a doubtlet. And the doubtlet, or the blue pill, is basically a dead-end path. This is a path that's just you'd rather stay in the cycle. Whatever the cycle you're in is you're gonna stay in that cycle and continue on. So you're given the choice between the truth or the doubtlet. Because you're given the choice, free will is not violated. Let's back up to the blue pill. I want to reiterate something about it. Keep in mind, the blue pill is a dead end. You're going to continue in the cycle you're already in, and this interaction is going to have no effect on you. Now, keep in mind, this is the left. Getting back to the whole left brain, right brain scenario. The left brain being man, our connection to just ourself basically, and the right brain being our connection to others, our God-like brain that connects everyone, and sort of our ticket outside of the matrix as well, our connection to the outer world as well as within the matrix with other people and compassion and love and all that. So the left side though is the ego, the self, and the man side of things. Now, when we think about the Mandela Effect changes, how I felt like with Rodin's thinker statue, where he was centered on his body, covering his third eye, using both his left and his right brain, much like the T's before they were affected, having both left and right arms on them. And then the change being that the right side of the T's were chopped off and they moved completely to their left, and Rodin, the thinker, moved completely to his left and he started looking out of his natural eyes. So at this point, if you take the red pill, you're going for truth, and you understand the other one is a lie. But if you decide to take the blue pill, you are following a plausible solution, but you're viewing the red pill as an impossible truth, if you even know what it is. So, one thing I noticed about when you consider CERN and the D wave, I thought these were plausible solutions myself. But like any blue pill, you can recognize it's the blue pill because it's a dead end. And this has happened to me time and time again. If it was just as easy as recognizing that you're looking at a choice between the red pill and the blue pill, it wouldn't be hard to see which choice to make. But many times you don't know if you're taking the red blue or the red pill or the blue pill. Sorry. So when I considered CERN as the culprit, there's really nothing you can do with that. I mean, it's CERN. If you do want to do something to it, what are you going to put it in line behind the chemtrails and the Pizzagate and all the other things that you're pretty much powerless to do? So a lot of times you might take the blue pill, and since there's nothing else to do, you still explore other options because this is a dead end. And I think a lot of truth seekers are that way. You're like, okay, so that's one scenario. Let's look somewhere else because there's nowhere else to look here. And especially with the Mandela effect, the effect that was just so, nobody wanted a dead end. People that were looking into it just wanted to look further. They wanted to find some more meaning in it. And that's what sort of forced me back to the right brain, to the dreamy, imaginative sort of brain, fantasy brain, to come up with a solution of what it might be. So this is, if you break apart the CERN logo, you will discern something sort of strange about it. And it led me down this track of thinking perhaps CERN's whole purpose, if you work for CERN, by the way, you might want to turn it off at this point. CERN's whole purpose for existing, let me back up a little bit. When you all first heard about CERN, did you sort of in the back of your mind think, that makes no sense? Why would they put so much into these long, gigantic tubes to smash some particles together? There's got to be more to the story than that. I think most of us were like that. I know I was. It just made absolutely no sense. Like, even if they did find this Higgs boson God particle, there has got to be more to the story than that. And I believe that's what makes them an awesome doubtlet, is because you already sort of have it in the back of your mind that the story just doesn't add up. Why would you go through all of this? There's got to be something, because of the scale of this thing, there's got to be something much larger. And that led me to believe that they had other things in mind. And you know what? I believe they do. But I don't believe they found it like other people. I believe they're working towards, I believe they found the Higgs boson and they're trying to do other things. And I've heard all sorts of stories that sounds like maybe they made some headway. But I had come across some information that almost led me in the direction to believe that whoever was responsible for the Mandela effect, for lack of a better term, framed CERN for being the ones responsible for it. And I'll explain, just give me a moment here. Framed is kind of a strong word. I don't really mean framed, I just mean when you think of the whole balancing and the whole free will thing, if you want to introduce something into a reality and you want to make sure you don't break the whole rule of free will, you want to make sure that you're adding stuff equally to both sides of the scale, so to speak. Because if you do too much, for instance, if the positive entities introduced the Mandela effect, which I believe they did, they would need to make sure they offered a plausible enough doubtlet with clues pointing to that doubtlet to make sure free will isn't. Because think about it, if they do something like the Mandela effect, it's positive, people recognize it's positive, they're forced to believe in the fact that it's a positive change. So they can't sort of, I mean, we don't understand this because on Earth we would want to weaken the other side. But weakening the other side and this whole law of free will turn around and bite them, you know. They don't want to get bitten in the butt because, I don't think there's a meter or anything for them to be able to tell. So they want to make sure they do enough to make the doubtlet plausible. Otherwise, all of their hard work of making material changes to this material reality, like they mentioned in the Dolores Cannon book, and you can check that video out right up here. Where they were talking about making these changes. They didn't call it the Mandela effect, but they said making observable changes to our material reality. Sounds just like it, and there was two factions discussing about whether it's going too far or not. So maybe they came up with the solution to make sure the doubtlet was good enough that they knew they weren't breaking free will. And I believe CERN's primary existence could be for that very reason. So now CERN wouldn't realize this. They would think they're there doing whatever they're doing, and even if they have, these hidden agendas for dark uses and opening doorways, all that's plausible to me. I believe the people working there are on this mission to do these things. So, but I believe that they took their selfishness and they deceived themselves in a way that they're doing all this, not realizing that they are just simply a front for the Mandela effect changes. I'm going to tell you why. When I broke this logo apart, it just hit me like a cold glass of water in the face. Look at these two sides here. The red pill or the blue pill. The right side, let me go back to full here. The right side, you enter in and you just go around, cyclical. You just keep going around in this cycle, right? Never any chance of exiting. The red pill isn't a dead end. You're going to go in, you're going to be presented with new facts, new directions you can go as you're going around and around. And you can stay there or you can pick one of these. Now this might run out and be another blue dead end, right? You might have to backtrack and come back around, and then you come out here, maybe this is another dead end. You come out this way, maybe you run into another red pill direction you can go. And keep this in mind. The reason the blue pill is a dead end is because it's a solution. The reason the red pill is a rabbit hole that you continually keep going down is because what we're really looking for is the infinite. We're trying to find the way to intelligent infinity. So as long as you're coming into a dead end, that ain't it. You've got to backtrack and come back to the choice you made. And like I said, sometimes it just happens automatically. You come in here and you're like, okay, that's the end of the story. Let's just go check one of the other paths. I hope this is making sense. So over here, you go around, and if you come out into another red Hadron Collider, basically. You'll go through there and you'll just continue on your journey, and it should never end until you completely grasp the whole idea of intelligent infinity. So that gets to back to the Mandela effect. Actually, you know what? I want to bring up something that's really important. UniRock brought up this pamphlet here, which I thought was interesting. It came out somewhere between the time of 2007 and 2013. So who knows what they changed on the reprint in those years. But still, it's well before the main part of this whole Mandela effect happened, right? So what's interesting about this, and I'll just point out a few things, and I will leave a link in the description for this pamphlet. You can go check it out yourself. The points he was bringing out is, check this out. Here we have Darth Vader. They used Darth Vader for this section about dark matter. It fits, right? But it's also a Mandela effect. Scroll on down. Now, when people are dead, we consider them to be ghosts, right? Could this be referring to people like Mandela that was supposedly dead, but they robbed the grave? Who knows what that's... I don't know. I was just speculating with that. Okay. Here we got Alice chasing the rabbit. Alice in Wonderland. There was a Mandela effect with Tweedledee and Tweedledum with the hats. They used to have propellers, but now they're flags. So this is another Mandela effect. Okay, let's get down to the main one I want to look at here, because this is what blew my mind when I was looking at this. And really, it was UniRock pointing something out that he noticed, and once he noticed it, I looked a little bit deeper into it and realized something. Here we have magic mirror on the wall, or mirror mirror on the wall. This is quite amazing when you realize this. And I could just be, using my creative brain to come up with this stuff, but this is what came to me when UniRock pointed this out. He said, look at the edge of the mirrors. You'd think they would have taken, better care of creating this better. And then he pointed out how the face here looks sort of like a clown face. You see this? So these lines here seem to be going with this design up top. These lines here don't have designs over here to match. So it led me to thinking these lines reminded me of the collider lines going out, right? And I don't know if I don't know if I even mentioned it yet, but people have discovered the 666 in their logo. Here you got the 6, and the 6, right? So 666. Cleverly hid when it's all clustered together. But you break it apart, it makes it easy to see that this one on the left, the red pill, has a 666 hidden within it. Now, do you see how it's going this direction? Like a 6 would be going. This is the mirror image of it. And this is what led me to think perhaps their whole existence was to counter or offset the Mandela effect changes, to be the doubtlet. Because while they're seeing themselves as the queen of particle physics or whatever they call it, this is actually, we're inside the mirror, and this is the person looking at the mirror. We're actually on the reverse side of it here, indicated by these three lines going the opposite way as what the particle collider should be going. Now it's got the three lines that way and the one line this way. Do you see that? So it's reversed of the logo. Interesting. Do you see that? That's pretty interesting. You got these two coming at each other and then an extra two going that way, the direction of a 6. You got these two going at each other and these two going this way, opposite direction of a 6, going this way. So that means that this side of the mirror is the real side, and they're a clown seeing themselves as a queen. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading something into it, but that's what came to me. Which lets me know that, well, it sends me down the path of wondering if they're just the doubtlet. So, this goes further. This gets crazier. Here we have, back, I explained these earlier with the whole Mandela effect. He's using his third eye, right? He's using his regular eyes. Now let me ask you this. When you're telling somebody, trying to tell them about the Mandela effect, what do they typically do when you tell them about something? They just, if they haven't ever heard of it, there's something that they want to do. Do they go into their mind and think about it? Or do they try to look it up on the internet? They try to look it up on the internet. So where do they go on the internet? They go to the #1 site according to the Alexa top 500 sites in the web, Google. Now if we have our regular eye or our third eye, what type of mechanical eye is there? There's the whole iris, right? You see this mechanical eye? Do you see what it looks like here? Kind of looks like the CERN logo in a way, doesn't it? But what else does it look like? We got our third eye. I'm going to pull this down a little bit here. So the thinker on the left is using his third eye. But the thinker on the right, doesn't this look like that shutter sort of? And do you see how this also makes the 6, the 6, and the 6? He's swapped out his third eye for the logo. Now, I'm just speculating, you know, maybe I just dreamt all of this up, you know, who knows? But it hit me and I was like, oh my God, you know, this could be right in front of us and we don't even realize it. What we were warned about. People not trusting their mind and trusting what they can look up with their swapped out mechanical third eye in their right hand on their handheld device or mouse. So that is what I have for you all, and that's just what came to me. Who knows? Maybe I dreamt it all up. It is crazy though. A lot of coincidences there. If you believe in coincidences, then there is your blue pill. But if not, you might want to think a little deeper at this, because when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is just mind-blowing. So thank you for watching. Really hope I didn't offend anybody with that, and I hope it made a lot of sense. Please comment, like, share, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.